ready to make it rain up in here. Hey, get out of here. What the heck? Oh, what? Who's that big guy out there in the back? It's a girl. Okay. Welcome, sir, ma'am, miss, princess. I never said the next 100 years should go to somebody who cares about this useless information. Has to happen to a guy. So you're more than welcome to stay. So what I want to do to start off today, because you know today's the day we're going to talk fantasy football. So anyway, I want to tell you a few more things. This is Pro Day, and I don't want to forget what I've always told you. Preseason games, I know you want to bet. I know. Okay, bet 50 bucks, 20 bucks. You've seen the game so far? You don't know anything. Who knows who's coming or going? The last game, the starters are going to play the first half. You know that, the quarterback. Maybe the offensive lineman might play longer. Did anybody see what happened to Seattle's offensive lineman this year? Well, this week? Gone for the year. So, and Dallas's offensive line doesn't look all like that. Anyway, so we're here. I always want to give you some information about the silly things that come out, and people always say, "Oh, ask Ace. He'll know that." So let's talk. I'm not going to talk about all dates and stuff this week. Let's talk about people's names. I want to tell you this is a true story. In 1951, Norm Van Brocklin threw for 554 yards as a quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, who had left Cleveland 6 years before, and it still stands as a record today. How could that be? How could it last that long? And hey, there's Flipper. Remember Flipper Anderson? I don't know why he didn't play for Miami. That'd have been great, Flipper, right? So anyway, for the Rams, he got 336 yards receiving in one game.
Leg muscle, so Flipper Anderson will be his big play target. Play action by Everett. Throws complete. Comes the blitz. Swilling almost got there. Anderson made the catch. Look out. The guy can fly. Everett unloads in a hurry. Anderson, first down. Blitz. Everett unloads. Trying for Anderson. Got it. Everett wants Anderson deep. Caught the ball. He's down at the 4. Everett unloads for Anderson. Anderson caught another one. Everett for Anderson. Touchdown. Holy cow.
But a lot of you probably don't even know him. So anyway, I want to bring you up to speed. Marvin Harrison, another receiver, first person to ever catch 143 passes in one season. Now, I don't know if they count the AFL or not, but Charlie Hennigan from the Houston Oilers in 1961 was the first person to catch over 100 passes in 1 year. Got 101. So anyway, let's get down to this a little bit, because please don't put real money on these preseason games. It's not smart. And I want you always to win, and we always want to win at whatever we have to do. But with all this useless information you have, look, you might be able to learn some things that help other people it'll come around to you. Anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about the fantasy. I'm gonna sit down here, son. I'm on fantasy football, and I guess almost everyone's into it now. And you probably know, if you've played before, and I'm sure most of you have, that we're always going to talk about late draft choices. That's where the surprises are going to be, and you know the people are going to get injured and so forth. But let's start off. Here's the first. I want to tell you about quarterbacks. I've picked for the fantasy as Breeze as the first best quarterback with what he's got offensively. Okay, and remember, they have A.J. Peterson now. So, and of course, they still have that terrible defense, but I'm not putting them anywhere. So, as second, I'm putting Adrian Rogers from the Green Bay Packers. So, obviously, if you get either one of these two right away, you're going to be happy. And at number 3, this might shock people, I've got Winston of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because he's got that big target out there. I'm telling you, he is so good. And besides that, it picked up some people and have done a great job in the offseason. And then, of course, we got Brady, and he's never going to run the ball, so he's not going to get any 1-yard touchdowns. Not going to build any points that way. So anyway, Mariota is a surprise team, I think, this year. Not going to win any championships or anything like that, but I believe they'll make the playoffs at like 9-7 or something like that. And I think him, along with Murray and the other running back from Alabama, and the receivers they picked up, I think they're going to be a surprise. Okay, my last one is Wilson. And I think you all know he's a great guy, great player. He can run the ball, throw the ball. Wilson. But he also, this past week, offensive lineman hurt, right? Out for the year. So those are the people I think have to go in the top 6 or 7 quarterbacks. I mean, after that, we're looking at the Washington. You can look at the Giants because they got Beckman with Manning thrown to Beckman. But these are my top ones. Anyway, let's go to running backs. Okay, this is a first timer for this. David Johnson from Arizona. I know he came on last year, and he is the man. Now, I've got a problem with number 2. I had picked Bell. The kid who went to Michigan State because Ohio State insisted on getting Carlos Hyde, so he wouldn't go there, and he became the star. He gets this money last year, but he's out the first 4 games, right? Well, guess what he's done now? He's all that, right? He hasn't signed, and he's going to come into camp. What happens if anybody comes into camp after when they have to at the end? They usually get injured or something happens. I'm not saying it's going to, please. But I had him at number 2. I'd say do as you will. You might want to drop him down because I have Freeman of Atlanta at number 3. And him at number 2 would probably would make some sense. And then, boy, talk about somebody came on last year. How about Howard of Chicago? Whoa, Chicago had nothing going for him. And you especially know at quarterback. Drafted all those wide receivers. Had receivers coming and going. This kid, most people don't even know who he is. Anyway, I've got him at number 4, I believe. And then Gordon. I think the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, as they were the one year in 1960, have come back and left the most beautiful city in the country, San Diego, because they wouldn't give them money to build the stadium. They voted the bond down. So he said he was going to leave if they did, and he did, and they did. And the Jai from Miami, because you've seen what happened to their quarterback. You didn't hear me mention a quarterback for them. I know they've got Cutler, and he even got his picture on TV today. Who would do that? So anyway, Tannehill, as you know, is out for the year. So Jai's going to have to be the man. And then, of course, McCoy from Buffalo. Those are my top running backs. All right, so get a little. What do we got here? Oh, receivers. These are so close, and I think it messed up from 1 to 2 to 3. You couldn't be that far off. So I've got Evans of Tampa Bay as the number 1 receiver, and I have at number 2. Brown of Pittsburgh. Remember, Bell hasn't signed. Brown's still got to be the man. He got the big contract. He signed it, the whole deal. And then Julio Jones of Atlanta. Between those 3, you can't do wrong if you even got them mixed up. And then Beckman. I've got Beckman slightly ahead of A.J. Green of Cincinnati between the 2 of those. So that top 5 is, They're all killers. And then I've got Baldwin of Seattle. And Hopkins of Houston. Look how he came on last year. Nobody even knew him. They didn't even know where he came from. And then, I don't, this guy, I feel sorry for Breeze. I love Breeze. I love their coach. Every year they screw up somehow. What did they let Cook go for? He was a great receiver. They let him go to New England. Who does that? Is there something wrong with me? Must be. Jeez, criminy. Okay, defenses. This has got to be the strangest thing, probably never happened in the history of football, pro football anyway, and that's only been 1920, okay? College, of course, we'll talk about that next time we're going to talk college. So, defense. I have Denver and Kansas City tied 1 and 1A for first place. So, and they're in the same division. How's that ever happen? I've never heard of it happening. Okay, and then here they come. Every time they're supposed to do it, though, at the end, Houston. Houston has this great defense, but in the playoffs, what happens to them? They got JJ, oh, well, whatever. Anyway, and then behind them, I've got Minnesota. They're going to have to win on defense, and I don't know this situation between the quarterback right now. New England, of course, is up at number 6. In total defense, Rams, no, second time I've mentioned them today, running back and defense. How's this going to happen? We're going to pray a lot. So anyway, at number 6, or 8, I mean, you've got the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, Phoenix Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cardinals. The only team that was here in 1920, the Cardinals, Chicago Cardinals, who came in 4th, by the way, that first season. Okay, and last, and definitely least, is the New York Football Giants. So those are my top defenses, and God bless you. And so anyway, I'm gonna talk to you soon about the college, what's going on. But anytime you want to know anything about pros, what year, whatever, I try to stay away from a lot of years, just give you lots more names and stuff of people that have done particular things. Here's another one. Marvin Harrison, Indianapolis Colts, caught 143 passes in 2002. 143. So he's number 1 in that vein anyway. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming. We'll talk, hopefully we'll talk soon, okay?